Nobody can find out I'm the real Captain Spirit.
And nobody will. Ever.
Now you're an official member of the Spirit Squad. If you betray us, I'll disintegrate you. Nah, just kidding. Oh yeah, we need a... team signal.
Totally. I'm gonna be Super Wolf. What's your super name, Sean?
Sean wants nothing to do with this. Welcome back to Life is Strange 2. Last time, we started to get to know what life is like living with our grandparents, who avoid a lot of emotional stuff, which doesn't work out very well, even though it feels like it helps in the moment. I always want to throw that out there, because we do things for a reason and we do things for a purpose. We wouldn't avoid stuff unless it felt like it helped, right? Oh no. Oh, I'm tangled. Nobody panic. Okay, we're good. We're good. So, we are supposed to be looking for Daniel. This room is also very dark. Is this like the basement? Whoa, what are you? Are you... Does someone like draw on the drywall like an alien? Oh, there's a light. Oh, this is the laundry.
Can't believe it's already been a week since we got here.
No, he's not gonna be in there. Also, there's shelves. He's gonna be in our mom's room.
As always with Claire, I can't really tell if this is cute or bossy.
Yes, the answer is probably yes, if you're asking yourself that. Dear husband, if you do laundry, that's passive aggressive. I can tell you right now, that's passive aggressive. If you're sitting, that's what he meant. If it's cute or bossy, maybe the term is passive aggressive. If you do laundry, please follow these simple rules in all caps. That's passive aggressive. Do not mix up white and colors ever. Use 1 cup of detergent. Holy shit, I don't think you're actually supposed to use 1 cup of detergent. Use 1 cup of detergent, red box for each load. I think like laundry detergent companies tell us to use more because it inherently benefits them if you buy more laundry detergent. If you wash my clothes, use the delicate cycle so you don't ruin any more of my clothes. Love, wife. Wow, that has a passive-aggressive feel to it, doesn't it? Whew. Well, weren't we supposed to do laundry? I think we were supposed to do laundry. Oh, it's not an alien that someone drew on the drywall. It's like, it's a ironing board. Got it. Wow, okay, well... I'll turn off the lights after me.
Where the hell is he hiding?
I told you. I've told you this already. Is this a closet? Yeah. Are you here? No. That, like, little jump he did. I mean, we know. I have a feeling that I know where he is. And he's in a spot where he's gonna get in so much fucking trouble when the grandparents find out, quite honestly. I am curious to explore the room, though. Did I hear a sound? No. Yes? No. So I'm not against it, but I'm gonna do my chores in the meantime. Tidy? Is there a tidy option anywhere here? Tidy? Oh. I don't think he's under the bed. I gotcha. That's what he does every time. Gonna getcha. Okay. Anyways. Oh, the bandana.
Man, I miss that dirty little dog. So
Yeah.
much more than I thought I would.
Sad. Also, why do you still have the pine cones? I don't know what causes the pine cones.
Not here.
Yeah, well, maybe he's behind the door.
Oh.
I love it every single time. Like, I know where to go. I feel like a part of me wonders if I'm sitting here saying, I know where he is, and then he's not there. Well, that's great, but I do seriously think he's in, is it this locked room? This locked room? I don't know, whatever. I'll figure it out. I was gonna say, are we gonna search behind the curtain like it's a horror movie? Are ya back
I know you're in
here?
there. Gotcha.
He's not.
What
Oh,
Yeah, very funny.
I thought he'd be in the bedroom.
No more hiding. Seriously.
Okay. What do I have to do?
You tidy the mess in our room, and I take care of the laundry. Cool?
Again? We always have to clean everything.
That's what chores
I
are.
don't wanna.
Well-
Yeah, I hear you. Never mind, okay?
What?
Thanks, Sean.
Okay. Okay, so kids are a lot of I want. I want this, I want that. And kids have a hard time seeing that there are some things that we do that we don't want to do. Part of this is like a brain developmental thing. Very much so. And it almost sounds like when Daniel was saying that, he was basically saying, well, I don't want to do it, so therefore I shouldn't have to do it. And this is where I feel like consistency and like teaching and like discipline and consequences for our actions kind of come into play. This is very much a parenting thing. Because otherwise we don't learn that sometimes we do things we don't want to do. I don't want to pay bills, but do I pay them? Yeah. Like that kind of an idea. And this is very much a balancing act too, because sometimes our body gives us signs that maybe we don't want to do. Let me back up. Sometimes we end up telling ourselves that we've kind of been taught or conditioned that we have to do everything we don't want to do. And then we don't listen to our body when our body tells us that we're burning out. So it's very much a balancing act, I feel like, of how this works. As far as really validating how we feel with this stuff and learning to validate how we feel with this stuff, but also learning that we do still have to do things that we don't want to do. How do we balance that? So it's not about completely ignoring that we don't want to do these things, but still finding a way to do them anyways for some things, right? Again, not for all things. Because Daniel's pretty much like, well, I don't want to do it, therefore I should never have to do it. But then what are you going to do when you're an adult and you don't want to do something? And Daniel is also slightly different in the case that he has powers. So literally, what about all these things that he has powers with that he doesn't want to do? How will that play into it? But then we also saw Sean, who was very much so more of a parent with Daniel than anybody and than any of the other adults, just because of their previous family dynamic and everything else. And we often play out what we've seen for our parents. That's how like generational trauma happens and things like that. And we saw from the very, very beginning of this game that their dad had a hard time disciplining them in a very consistent way. And that's what Sean did. Sean like caved. Chores are not a bad thing for these kids to do. Again, it depends on the chores. It depends on how often, all of that stuff. Learning to pick up after yourself, not a bad thing. Learning to do chores in like dishes, laundry, like all of these things that they're being told to do, not a bad thing. Like they're being told to clean their own room. It's not even like clean up the whole house at this point. That was like, I did that, but it was not a requirement. I was going above and beyond. Those are not bad things to learn. But Sean didn't tell him you still have to do it. So then when Daniel's an adult, will he pick up after himself? So it seems like Sean is continuing to do the parenting that he saw his dad do.
I used to
Why
hate
not?
brushing my teeth. Just like Daniel. Now I can't get enough toothpaste. Saw some teeth in there a few nights ago. Wonder if it's Claire's or Steven's.
Also, this means that Sean is taking on all of the chores by himself to make sure they still get done, and that's not fair. Sean is still a child,
All right.
essentially.
Let's get it over with.
And it's not fair for him to take on all of the chores. Daniel is perfectly capable of helping. But he's just choosing not to because he doesn't want to. But he is capable, and these are things that he should learn. So, for example, when will he learn how to do the laundry? Or is he going to be an adult who just doesn't know how to do it? Where's the laundry?
Claire and Steven are super kind to us, but a bit smothering.
And again, like, these are also things that, like, should be taught. Like, we should... Nope. Like, these things should be taught before there's just, like, an expectation that we do it.
How many programs does this thing have?
That's not a lot.
Okay. It will do.
I hope you separated your colors from your whites. Why was this, like, glowing before? Yeah, why are you... Is that a glitch? Interesting. I don't think it was doing that before.
Boring laundry? Done. Time for fresh air. What's even the point of having so much crockery?
I think a lot of times we get that stuff because we feel like, well, what if I entertain someone? But then we never do. Oh, we can look at the train set. I don't feel like we should play with that. No. Now, we're the ones who have to clean up everything. No, we can't go out now because you may be ready, Daniel. But the mess still has to be cleaned up, and now it's going to take longer because I have to do it. We could have tag-teamed it.
Come on, man. I put all your toys in the trash, dude.
What? Really?
Of course not. But next time you bail on me, maybe I will.
Water stains. They leave water everywhere. What's the frame?
Gee. Don't know why crooked frames stress me out like this.
I'm not going to ask him to use his power and then chide him the other half of the time. That feels like contradictory, because then it sends the message of like half the time.
So weird to be back here again.
You can use the powers, and the other half of the time you can't.
Claire and Steven are kind of weird sometimes, but they do care about us. I'm glad they're spoiling Daniel.
Oh, there's the fish.
Wish I could. Dad never really got along with them, though. I barely know them. Family, right? We're safe. That's all I need.
Hi, Daniel. What's in here?
It's been locked ever since we got here.
Ah.
I kind of don't give a fuck.
Whoo! So that's the mom's room.
This used to be Karen's room. Wonder what they've done with it.
Is this the grandparents' room?
Better not sneak in. They won't like it.
Okay, well, now we know which room is, like, where. Wonder how weird it would feel, too, if we end up liking something, or, like, these people that our grandparents, or, like, that our dad didn't like.
I hope we won't get Claire and Steven into trouble.
Careful. Sean!
Shit!
Got you.
Seriously, man.
Pussy.
Wow. Maybe you should have said no about the language. No! There's so many options now about the powers. And I feel like that just encourages him to I mean, it encourages him to use powers, right?
Come on. We've been inside long enough.
But that feels like... It feels like it just teaches him to use the powers more and more and more when I don't think that's super helpful. I think that's going to bite him in the ass, quite honestly. Okay, well, guess let's go outside. I feel like this is the Captain Spirit part.
Okay. Time to burn off some calories. What do you say?
Haha! Yes!
Where were those jackets and shoes hiding? Did I just not see them?
so good to be outside. Reminds me of the cabin. Right?
Yeah, but like the cabin also had... Shh.
Shh. What did Claire say?
Who cares what the old bat said?
Dude. First off, that feels incredibly rude. Like, Daniel... I had said before, like, I don't care if he curses, right? I care more about, like, how nice he is to people. And it seems like he interpreted that as, like, oh, I can do whatever I want now. Which is, like, not the intention there. Not what I meant. Because it sounds like he's basically saying, I guess, like, as time goes on, it feels like Daniel is basically saying, I have powers, and I can do whatever I want. Like, that's kind of like the subtext or this feeling that I keep getting is like, I don't have to listen to her. I don't care. I don't have to, like, who cares what she says? It's like, why? Right? Like, he threw shade at her about the room. It sounds like he has, like, a hard time with empathy, which is an age-appropriate thing. Kids have a really hard time with that. It goes with, like, the how our brain develops. We really kind of, empathy kicks in more like when we're teenagers kind of a thing. So, but he just, I guess I really wonder how much the powers has to do with that. How much he really sits there and says, well, I have powers, therefore I don't have to listen to basically like authority figures, right? So screw you, right? Old bat. Ugh. He listens to Sean though. So what makes Sean different? Is it just because of like everything that's happened? Is it because of like the fact that they're family? Like what makes Sean different?
This place is actually kind of nice.
But
Wonder
I
what
don't-
it's like in the summer.
I don't like that attitude. I feel like that attitude is first off going to get them in a bunch of trouble, but like also like not helpful for like being a human being that has like a healthy relationship with themselves and other people.
Check it out.
Yes, this looks very familiar.
Cool.
So that's the treehouse Steven helped out with. Pretty awesome.
We haven't seen Chris, if I remember his name right? If I remember his name right. We haven't seen him yet, or his dad. I imagine that'll be a whole cutscene. Just looking to see if there's anything else out here that I can look at before I go into the shed. I don't think there is. The sounds in this game sound eerily like something I could hear in real life.
Get ready for storage wars.
What's wrong?
Frozen shut. Of course.
Oh, this is where it happens.
Sean, look.
How are we gonna feel about this? Ah, not approving. Because it is very public.
Did you see that?
I interpreted that as like Sean didn't want it to be want that to be connected to the two. I saw that as Sean didn't want the powers to be connected to Daniel. And like, how would you process that when something happens to you? Right? Ugh. I didn't even think of the fact that Captain Spirit or Chris would think that it was himself. Like he finally got the powers he was looking for because he wants to be a superhero. Which is like perfectly fine to let him continue unless he like puts himself in a situation where he's going to be hurt. That's not great. I think there's also this like weird, cruel question of like, would it have actually been like better to let Daniel like not use the powers, because like from that height I don't think he would have actually like hurt himself, or if he would, it wouldn't have been like permanent damage. That's a weird question to like sit with and think about. It also sounds like exactly the same kind of question that Life is Strange would give you, doesn't it? Ugh. Those awful, uncomfortable questions. We did, or see what? Ooh, see what? Yeah, let's go with that. I really don't like these ones where it's like, use your powers more, Daniel. I don't feel like that's super helpful. And I feel like, again, like when I think about the emotional health of Daniel and like how connected these powers are to Daniel's emotions, I also don't feel like that's great that way. See what?
See what? We just got here. Are you okay?
Yeah. I didn't see anything either.
Oh, okay. I just fell down.
Also,
into
you
the snow.
don't have shoes on, kid.
Dad says I'm kind of clumsy.
That's an awesome costume. Who's your favorite superhero? I
Batman.
love
Power Bear.
Batman.
Oh man, I have the Mega Power Bear. You should check it out.
Dude, that's so cool.
Chris, oh God. Look, I am so sorry. Are you okay?
Dad, I'm fine. I promise.
Are you sure? Listen, I shouldn't... Do you know them?
It's okay, Dad. They're cool. He loves superheroes, even Power Bear.
Ah, gotcha. Hey there. Are you staying with the Reynolds?
This idea that like he came by and was like instantly defensive about someone else, but then like doesn't look at himself and like how he can actually improve. Because in the demo we saw this character say sorry, but they didn't change. So at what point is the sorry meaningless? Sorry doesn't mean anything if you're not changing. But then is instantly defensive at other people. Is instantly like, oh, who are you? Just passing by or our grandparents. It's really hard to, I don't want to say grandparents. We're supposed to be like laying low. It's also really hard to, it's really hard to say just passing by when you're in their backyard. I guess we're saying just passing by.
Yeah. But not for long. We're just passing by.
I see. Oh, geez, Chris. You don't have any damn shoes on.
Who? Don't blame him for that. Who? It feels cruel to consistently and constantly just blame this child. Considering everything that happened.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Again! Saying sorry is important. It's important to like take accountability for like what the things that we have done. Do not get me wrong, that is super important. But this character constantly says sorry and doesn't actually take accountability for their own part in things. There's a part in the demo where it was like during the breakfast scene where the dad was like, oh, I'm sorry that and then they actually stopped themselves from taking accountability and they said they completely changed the structure of the sentence to not take accountability. It's like someone throwing accountability at them and they're like dodging it. So this character constantly apologizes but does not take accountability and does not make changes. And those are very important things when we're talking about apologies. So the sorries are meaningless. The sorries are ways to feel like we're apologizing for ourselves, but they don't actually like help the actual situation. They don't actually do anything for other people, which is what the sorry is also like. The sorry is mostly for other people.
Let's get you
That's what it
inside.
should be for.
Yeah. Okay, Dad.
Thanks, guys. Oh, and if Claire asks, tell her everything is fine.
So like at this point in the demo, Sean and Daniel's grandmother Claire had knocked on their door and was super concerned for this kid and his well-being because the dad is abusive, right? Physically, emotionally. And so now the dad is basically saying, oh, if you see your grandma, tell her that everything's fine, right? Like, because these kids don't know what happened. And so it's almost like, but if you tell her that everything's fine, then like that covers for me. Is it? Is it though? Or sure? No. Is it?
Is it? Really?
Never mind. See you around.
Sure.
It's like letting
Thanks,
him
guys.
ride
See you
piggyback
later.
to like make it up to him.
We will.
Daniel, did you forget everything about the rules already?
Sorry, Sean. Did you want me to let him fall? Really?
Ooh. Remind him about the rules or concede. I feel like I just said something about this, right? I feel like sticking to my guns, quite honestly, about the rules. I feel like it's going to bite us later on. And Daniel's being defensive, and Daniel's like, did you want me to let him fall? Almost like Daniel is trying to magnify the situation, right? It is a defense mechanism by almost trying to say, well, if I hadn't done something, then he would have been seriously hurt. But first off, we don't know that, right? But also, that ignores the fact that Daniel uses his powers all the time, regardless of if somebody has the potential to be injured. Daniel used his powers literally behind his grandmother's back with the dishes. He used his powers to scare us. He used twice. Once in the bathroom shower area, tub, in the bathtub area when he came up behind us. Once with the like tiki decoration thing. So he can't say like, oh, this is the only time I use my powers because this person was hurt and I reacted by instinct. Like, the instinct defense would make way more sense to me, but that's not what happened. And that's not what he's saying in his defense. And don't get me wrong, children don't often like know the words to defend themselves in a way that is accurate. I totally get that. But Daniel is actively using his powers all the time, regardless of how much like injury someone may have. It also feels weird to say you can't use it on the mountain lion like earlier on, but now you can use it. So I feel like sticking with it to remind him of the rules.
I know you only wanted to help, but it's too dangerous for both of us.
Whatever. Rules are boring.
Yeah, but it'll be worse than boring if we get busted out here. Come on, Daniel. Steven already saw you using your powers.
Fine. I'll be careful.
No.
I'll never...
So Daniel's reaction was like, again, more defensiveness. Very much feels like Daniel's the teenager and Sean is the adult, which is like, that's not the appropriate ages for these characters. Because Daniel's like, rules are stupid. I don't mean to be entirely mocking of him, but like that's his defensive reaction. Rules are stupid and rules are boring, and because rules are stupid and rules are boring, I shouldn't have to have anything to do with them, right? And then his reaction is almost more like, I'll be more careful when I use them instead of I'll just start following the rules. Which is very different.
help anybody again.
Wow, okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Daniel,
And now I'm going to take it to the extreme of I'll never help anybody ever again instead of changing my behavior. So basically accusing everybody else of the rules are dumb, the rules are stupid, and helping people is stupid, and therefore I'm never going to do any of those things again, right? Instead of looking inwards and saying, how can I do these things without having it be extreme? And how can I sit with this stuff, right? How can I admit that I did something wrong without being defensive? Black and white thinking, or like super concrete things, is what we do when we're kids. And kids have a really hard time with so many of these concepts. Like it's not black and white. Like you can help people, but it doesn't have to be in this way. And like rules in general, this idea of like, I don't have to like it to do it anyways. All of these are like super hard concepts for kids. I think it's also really hard when we don't understand the purpose behind the rules, right? So as a kid, does Daniel understand the concept of like danger? And like what kind of danger could happen? I don't know.
remember that we're hiding out. So no training and no showing off your power.
It's also really hard when your brother has openly encouraged it with training and now all of a sudden is saying you can't do it. It does make, I think it probably would have been more consistent if the training just hadn't happened at all. But it's too late now. It's already happened. And some parenting is like that. Some parenting is where we're experimenting. We're like, I'm going to try this and see how it goes. I'm going to try this and see how it goes. And so sometimes parenting kind of feels like that, where you experiment with something, you're like, oh, that did not go well.
From now on, you stick with me all the time.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to love that. Well, now he has a better attitude. And to be fair, just because he has this defensiveness right now doesn't mean he's going to keep having the defensiveness. I think we're all upset if we're told we can't do something because of that immediate defensiveness. And then we have some time to sit there, process it, and then our minds can change. They don't always. Next morning. Well, I don't think Daniel is sticking with us. I think we are waking up alone, which sounds more awkward than I meant it. Oh, no.
Fuck. That kid never listens.
That is the most parental statement that Sean has said to date.
Okay. Time to get Daniel at the Ericksons.
Oh my god. I don't want to go over there with that dad. Oh, the dad. Plus the powers. Oh my god, I'm sure that will not go well. And I'm not sure for whom. Oh, I'm not sure for whom. Oh, gosh. Daniel? Child? I thought it was going to be about our mom's room.
Claire? Steven?
Oh, no.
Anybody home?
Well, in that case, can I?
Well,
Oh, it's still locked.
looks like I'm home alone.
They must really trust these kids to follow the rules then. Also, did anybody move the laundry from the washer to the dryer?
Oh, right.
What?
Sunday morning.
Church.
Claire and Steven must be at church.
Ah. There have been a couple comments about it being like a super religious community. So is there anything I can snoop about?
Well, maybe I could use the phone.
I was like, is there anything I can snoop about while they're gone? That I can only snoop about while they're gone? We can call Lila.
While they're away.
I don't think we should do that. No, I don't think we should do that. We threw away the phone for a reason. Oh, look, Christmas tree.
We had a good time decorating the tree together last night.
Until Daniel left
Daniel loved it.
and the Fire Nation attacked. I saw the blue of the mixer and I thought it was like a flame on, and I was like, they left the fire on? No, they didn't.
Dude, move your ass.
Okay, sorry.
Who knows
Jeez.
what Daniel's doing over there?
I was admiring the tree. Oh, we're going out the front. Okay. Well, that means like serious business. No, what?
Well, I guess they won't be back for at least 2 hours.
Morning, sleepyheads. We let you sleep in today while we're at church. Back by noon for lunch. See you in a bit. Love, Grandma and Grandpa. P.S. The Christmas tree is perfect. Good job, kids. Thank you for tidying up a bit.
Maybe I could use Steven's laptop?
No.
It's been ages since I've had news from the real world.
Didn't you say that they watch cable news, though? Like, wouldn't you have seen what happens through there? Anyways, no, we're not going to do that. Because you are still hiding out. Like, this is, when we talk about the consequences, we're talking about how the consequences would impact them, your grandparents, but the consequences would mostly impact
Okay.
you.
Let's get this brat back home now.
Those are fighting words. Daniel, you have made some choices that are gonna have some consequences, or I have. What? One of the two. This house is
Why does
familiar.
Daniel never listen? Maybe
Because-
I'm doing it wrong.
Do this again feels like parenting. We're like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong because my kid is a kid and doing kid things and whatever, right? Like, we all make stupid choices when we're kids and or teenagers. The difference is in this situation, the choices hit differently and have different kinds of consequences.
Single dad family.
You can
Way
tell
too
that by the
close to home.
mailbox. I don't think you can tell it by the mailbox. Also, I want to snoop around outside. I know that Sean's going to be like, come on, dude. But I'm sitting here going, is your license plate safe? I can't tell. I'm sitting here going like, make sure the guy doesn't drink and drive.
Steven and Claire are gonna freak if they realize he went to the Ericksons.
Yes, they are. Well, the guy's not... Oh, he's using his child. It's in for a world of... I was gonna say a world of hurt, but...
What the fuck? I'm gonna kill him.
This child.
Wow. That's a lot of beer.
I was gonna say, why are we looking at it? I mean, that's not a lot of beer. There's only like 6 of them in there. We don't know how long. The period of time over which this is drank matters, right? Is that a lot for a month? No. Is that a lot for a week? Depends on how many people. Is it a lot for a day? Yeah. Again, I guess it depends on the people. I hope we don't just walk in.
Daniel, what's going on here?
Sean! Wait! Don't freak out. I can't explain.
Let me tell him. Sean, I know it sounds crazy, but I have a superpower. You saw me yesterday. I know you did. I was flying. I can move things. Objects.
I love how as this goes on, they animate Sean's eyebrows more and more to give him really fucking pissed off eyebrows. So, our lovely friend Chris here, who's a sweetheart, is taking credit for this because he still believes that he is the one with superpowers. And meanwhile, Daniel is so desperate for a friend that he allows this to continue and shows off his powers to, like, help this.
With my mind.
Oh, a superpower. Really?
Yes.
If you have to start off an interaction by saying, don't be mad, maybe that's not a great place to be. Maybe, like, the choices that led up to that situation were not great. Just saying. Pretty cool or irresponsible? Ooh, let's... I feel like my thoughts are probably similar to Sean's. Like, you little shit. How dare you? Not quite to that extent. But also, like, there's gonna be some consequences. Probably the most PR way of saying, like, there's probably gonna be some fucking hell to pay for this. Response.
Great. And you don't realize what that implies? Everyone can see you from the outside. You could get in real trouble. This is dangerous.
I also don't like... What I don't like about this right here is that Sean is intending to chew out Daniel. You're like, maybe he should be chewed out. I mean, because, like, let's say that this is, like, a normal kid thing, right? Like, Daniel was told, don't go play with your friend because you're in trouble, and he did it anyways. Like, should there be a consequence for that? For sure, right? The difference is, this is powers. And Sean is the only one who knows, so now the responsibility of chewing him out is entirely on Sean, and that, like, hits different, right? But what he's doing here is, he is intending to chew out Daniel, but it's under the subtext of chewing out Chris. And that also hits different, because Chris has done nothing wrong, really. He has done nothing wrong. And he's also already living in a home where his dad chews him out for things that he hasn't had, like, that he hasn't done himself. So Chris already is used to being blamed for things that he didn't do. And now there's this person where he desperately wants to be friends with this kid, and he's being blamed for things again when he didn't do anything wrong. And that feels bad. That feels bad.
Stand.
Yes, we hear you. We promise to be careful.
No. How about just not do it?
Our secret, okay? Nobody can find out I'm the real Captain Spirit.
And nobody will. Ever.
Now you're an official member of the Spirit Squad. If you betray us, I'll disintegrate you. Nah, just kidding. Oh yeah, we need a team signal.
Totally. I'm gonna be Super Wolf. What's your super name, Sean?
Sean wants fucking nothing to do with this. I also notice how at every turn, Daniel does not agree to just not use the power. He just says, I'll get better at hiding it. That's not the point. The point is not to get better at lying or being sneaky or being shady about it. The point is just don't do it, but he doesn't want to accept that. He thinks it's too cool, like too whatever, right? It's almost like, well, it makes me like a certain level of status. It makes me better than everyone else, and I don't want to give that up. So he's unwilling to say, I just won't do it. At every turn, he keeps saying that. Silver Runner, Professor Diaz, El Diazblo, is that devil loco, like the crazy devil? Don't need one. Ooh, don't need one kind of fits more with like his initial reaction.
I don't need a super name. I'm already awesome.
Aw, come on. We're gonna call you Super Lame if you don't want to choose.
Okay.
Guys, I think we're ready to roll.
It was right in front of the dad.
Excuse me. Who are you?
I'm Sean.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, man. You're here for Daniel. Hey, let's make it official. I'm Charles Erickson.
Nice to meet you.
Hope you know that Daniel and Chris are a dangerous team. We better watch out, or they're gonna take over the world.
Yeah, they share a lot of things. As thick as thieves.
Can we go get the Christmas tree now? We're both ready to fly.
Yes. The team has been waiting too long. Hey, you should come along too. There's nothing going on over here.
Yes! Can't wait to see all the decorations. And Sean, we could buy Christmas presents for Grandma and Grandpa.
So again, this is like Daniel trying to be sneaky and get out from under like Grandma and Grandpa. And like my reaction to this is like, no, because I agree that they should just like stay under the radar. Whatever that looks like. I'm not saying they have to stay at their grandparents' house, but like they should stay under the radar. And at every turn, Daniel's like fighting that, like lately. And I think that at a certain point that is valid because like he wants a normal childhood. And that's fair. I guess what I just wished for was like a normal conversation in between Daniel and Sean, where Daniel was pretty much like, where Daniel wasn't subverting him, where Daniel was basically saying like, hey, this is what I want, like, how can I get this? Instead, what Daniel's doing is being sneaky, and he is lying and that kind of thing. And those are the things like I'm not a fan of, right? It's like if I can squash those, encourage communication, and like also encourage them to stay under the radar, that'd be a great balance. Let's just ride that out for the rest of the game. I don't think it's gonna happen. They'll worry.
Well, they'll worry if we leave the house.
Yeah.
And remember, you still have to get better, Daniel.
Sean, come on.
No, Daniel,
Why
come
do you
on.
always have to be a party pooper? It's the first time I've been out for days.
Yep.
We won't be gone for long. The market's only a few miles away. Anyway, they'll be at the service for at least another hour.
Yeah, Sean, I can show Daniel around. You can come with us.
No.
Please say yes. Please.
Wow, this
Please.
isn't a guilt trip at all.
Please.
Okay. You
No.
win. Not a fair fight. So let's go.
Yes!
Yeah.
See? Dangerous. Okay, team, give me a time out to clean up the back seat. I'll hop when
Whoa.
I'm done.
Ooh,
There are no seatbelts in the back of a truck like that. Please use seatbelts.
can I use the bathroom?
Of course. Oh, you'll see my comic books. I'm glad you're coming too. Hey, you want to see my toys?
Oh, score! The new hot dog man?
Since you're a new member of the team, you have to know everybody. These are Captain Spirit's friends and his enemies.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
Can you guess who are the good guys and the villains?
Let's see.
Oh, geez, I didn't investigate everything to that extent. Villains.
Look closely.
Okay, villain. Hero. Hero? Hero. Villain.
Careful.
Don't judge me,
may be
child.
Tricky.
Don't judge me.
Okay. How did I do?
You're not a very good observer. Okay, let me introduce them to you. This is Team Spirit, the good guys.
Oh.
There's the Forest Warrior, Power Bear, Marty Rex, and Sky Pirate.
So, who are the bad guys?
That's Noctarius and the Shark Stinger. There's also Snowmancer, but he's out in the garden. But they're
Okay.
all working for Mantroid, who's the real supervillain.
So, where is he?
Hiding out on his evil planet, waiting for me. But Captain Spirit and Superwolf will make sure he doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah. Strength in numbers. Sounds like Mantroid is in trouble.
Just wait until he sees what Captain Spirit can do now.
Yeah. About that.
Your father knows. Or not afraid. I guess let's ask about his dad.
Does your dad know about any of this? Did he see something yesterday?
No, he didn't see anything, and the power didn't work yesterday. After I fell. Must have been too tired.
Okay. Good.
He's
I
wearing
mean,
the same socks, too.
he could be pretty disturbed if he knew.
I'm definitely not telling Dad. I don't want to freak him out. He's worried about other stuff anyway.
Cool. Treehouse are all cool with him. Let's keep asking about the dad.
Chris, it's none of my business, but are you and your dad okay?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Claire seems to be worried about you guys. Yesterday, Steven and her talked about your dad. I think they had a talk with him.
Claire's always worried. We're cool. Totally. He has a hard time being on his own.
Is that
That's
it?
all.
I got the impression the drinking started before the thing with the mom, though. It's gonna be okay, or I understand? It's gonna be okay?
Chris, I know life can get pretty tough. Trust me. But you'll be okay. You're an awesome kid.
Thanks, Sean. But I don't feel scared anymore. I have the power, and I have Daniel.
There's the signal. Come on, Daniel.
Hey! Pro tip. Don't go in there.
Yeah.
Okay, squad. Let's roll.
No.
You need my jacket? I don't want you catching another cold.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Not in
Don't
the
be waving your arms
truck.
around when I'm driving, okay?
Yeah. Remember,
Also,
Daniel,
Is he sober?
don't mess around.
All right. Jeez.
Thanks for clearing the snow from the porch. You're awesome.
You're welcome, Dad.
Seatbelts. Sean. Especially in the snow. Seatbelts. Wear your seatbelts, children. This is so hard for me to even like think about because it's not these kids' jobs to like make sure that they have the seatbelts or like that their driver is sober. What kid is sitting there going like, "Are you my DD?" Like, oh, next to the liquor store. They did a good job with like the snow and like making it look like how the tires dig into the snow like that.
Okay, buddy. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey!
You guys go ahead and we'll come back to meet you, okay? Brothers meeting.
Sure.
But-
Don't get lost.
Don't get lost.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing? I can't believe it. How many times do we have to keep going over the rules?
Don't show the power. I know.
Then why did you do
But
it?
Chris thinks he can do all this cool stuff. I
So?
wish he could. He reminds me of Noah. I just miss having friends, Sean.
It's like when I ask why, right? Like that's it right there. The motivation is to have friends, but you can have friends without showing off the powers. It's hard as a kid though to see that and say and feel like it is okay to have your friend be disappointed that he doesn't have the powers anymore. Because right, when I picture that, what I picture is Chris like trying to use the powers and then being increasingly disappointed that it's not happening anymore because Chris would probably try to show it off to Daniel. But it is okay for our friends to be disappointed, and it's okay to like see that because it doesn't mean it's our fault. Stop lying to Chris. Let's not go with that. Absolutely not. Will this bite me in the ass? Maybe, but I want to keep everything absolutely quiet. Protect the secret.
Listen, I understand, but we have to be extra careful out here. You can't let people see you. You know the rules.
Yes, I know the rules. But
And like the motivation to have friends is different. Right? Like again, like that is valid. It's valid to want to have friends, it's valid to want connection with people. We are built for like we're built for connection. But you can do it without the powers. Right? So Daniel is basically saying, well, because I wanted this thing, that meant I had to use my powers. But they're two separate things.
be careful.
No, you're
We
not.
do things when it's me and Chris. Nobody sees us.
And so basically, because I'm careful, that makes it okay to break the rules. But like, it's not though. Like this is about like justifying how he breaks the rules. But I'm pretty sure everywhere along the way, we've chosen options that say it doesn't matter why you break the rules, don't do it. Just don't. And so Daniel is a child who has a harder time grasping these like bigger, vague concepts because it's like how kids are. Is basically saying, well, but if I can justify it, that makes it okay. And he has a hard time seeing past that.
Yeah, nobody but me. What if it was Chris's dad? Or grandma? Or a cop? Or...
Okay. I get it. But I'm careful.
That's not enough. You have to be extra careful.
All right.
By just
I
like
swear I
not doing
will.
it. I mean, like, the easiest way to make sure that he's like extra careful is just not doing it. I just realized now that I sound like someone who advocates for like abstinence only like sex ed, and that's not my intention. But just like not doing it in front of anybody. Like that's the only way he can make sure that he is as careful as he's saying he is. It's the only way. Because the way that he's been showing it off to people is simply that, showing off. And he's basically saying, well, if I make sure that I'm extra careful, it's okay to show off. And like if that attitude can change, then it's actually as careful as he's saying he is.
Deal. I'm counting on you, Anano.
Can I go see Chris now?
Can we stop having this serious
Yeah,
conversation
let's
now?
But don't forget what I said.
Can you stop chewing me out now?
Wow. So many trees.
Yeah.
Ugh. They look like giant cocoons. Creepy.
You could see it that way.
How can they sell so many trees in such a small town?
I mean, they probably ship them out to other places, I imagine. Or there's just... When I think of rural towns, too, I think of people who, like, drive in from the outskirts of the town. That kind of thing. hairspray?
Dad pushed every year to get a plastic tree, but we never surrendered. Yeah, I should put you in.
Shut up. You coming, Sean?
Don't worry.
Oh, this is what they
I'll
used
be
to wrap them
around.
up. I like the live trees that are like not these types of live trees, but like the ones that have the roots and everything, so they can be planted once you're done with them.
Behold, the giant condom machine.
I hate
Sweetie.
to say this, Sean. Condoms should not have holes in it like that. So if that's what your condoms in your bag look like, you might want to get new ones.
See anything you like?
It's not how they should look. It looks like the Michelin Man.
Jeez. Daniel Snowman wasn't that creepy after all.
I am a little terrified to find out too what Chris's dad will do, plus Daniel's powers.
Looks like someone went nuts over these blocks.
That like perfect storm. Like if Daniel sees Chris's dad abusing him, what will he do?
I wonder what will happen to the trees no one buys.
I don't know what happens. Because they're already cut. Like, you can't use them for anything else. Santa's mailbox can't.
Dear Santa, we've been good kids this year. Please explain this hot mess.
Shouldn't laugh at that. I expected something like I guess sadder. Like, please bring my dad back, not explain this. To me, that also feels like a certain amount of acceptance. Like, we've accepted that we can't bring our dad back.
Sure. I'm fine for now.
Got all the supplies in my truck, so don't worry.
Is that a yo-yo?
Yeah, I mean,
Daniel had one back home.
why not?
Bet he'd love this.
Phew, I don't know why the camera's there. Yo-yos also feel like a cheap kind of toy that we get, but that we don't know how to do or we don't do very well. So like we get it for a kid because it's cheap, and then after that it kind of like, I don't know, whatever happens to yo-yos. Donated, I guess.
This is so different from Seattle.
It's a small town.
Don't know if I can get used to it.
I don't even know how many people Seattle has, but it's big compared to anything rural. Oh, we can sit and draw again. What perspective are we drawing? Drawing. Oh. Oh, we can check the money in our backpack, so inherently that means we
Time
can
to take the pen, dude.
buy something? What would we be buying here? Huh. Not a tree, I hope. That would... We already have a tree at our
Okay.
grandparents'.
Got it.
Also, that would inherently just give away that we left the house.
This place is nice.
It's kind of quaint, I guess. Nice is definitely in the eyes of the beholder.
Pretty good. But I can add more details if I want. I've looked enough. Time to draw now.
I wonder why you wouldn't want to add details.
Cool.
I feel like we're
I
not
think
going
I'm
to get
ready
back
to
to our
draw this.
grandparents' house in time. Like, we got peer pressured.
What are you
something.
drawing? Whoa, it's so cool. Are you like a professional?
Nah. More like the
Oh.
opposite.
You could draw comic books, the awesome adventures of...
Because he loves art, because that's what his mom did.
Captain Spirit and Superwolf.
Pretty rad for a Hollywood name. Yeah. I'll think about it.
Hey, can you add something funny to your drawing?
Funny? Like what?
I don't know. Something cool.
Like what?
Okay. Big question. Zombies or UFO?
Because again, cool is in the eyes of the beholder. Let's go zombies.
What about a zombie attack on Beaver Creek?
What do you think? Oh, I have to actually draw it. Okay. I have to observe it. That's funny, even though I'm like making it up.
I've looked enough.
The zombie
Time
head
to
the
draw
thing.
now.
I hope I can draw like you one day.
I'm sure you will, man.
Takes practice. Soon that notebook our dad gave us will be full. Poster. Is this the same?
Too bad
Yeah.
we can't come and see. Maybe we'll get some leftover pies and eggnog, at least.
I was gonna say pies and eggnog. Oh my gosh, I want pie and eggnog. Oh, vendor. Oh, okay, this is what we can buy. I want book.
We only sell
Ugh.
handmade local products.
It's weird to have
Come
all
take
this
a look.
food around after a month of ravioli diet.
And cider. I want cider.
I miss Dad's Christmas at all.
I want cider and cookies. I don't care about the gifts. Because here's the thing. We're gonna get back to the house with the gifts, and then our grandparents are gonna say, where did you get the gifts from? Because you're not supposed to leave the house. Number one. Number two, you're not supposed to like have access to the internet, so it's not like you can like go on Amazon and buy something. So either way, if we buy something, we get in trouble. No, like don't buy that stuff. Oh my gosh, they would.
Okay. Better find a gift for Daniel quick,
Okay,
while he's still busy with Chris.
I think that your brother would not like a trinket like this. Get your brother a wooden carved bear. That would go over well. It wouldn't. I see their grandparents as being the kind who would like the wooden signs, because that's what they have at their house already, right? I think our brother, just like get him food, right? Something that he can enjoy in the moment and we're not gonna get in trouble for. Look, Daniel, I'm sorry, I'm not getting you something. Like, our brother's
The
not
best
gonna like a
Christmas
wreath.
wreaths are here.
That's nice.
Decorate your
Quiet
front doors
morning.
with something truly
I'm a
special.
child. Steal the yo-yo. Stealing has gone over so well for me in this game. I mean, like, I'd rather buy the yo-yo, but it's in a donation box. This is also the only childlike thing here. Can I just buy
Quiet
food?
morning.
Face in the hole, Daniel. I'd rather buy the food. I learned my lesson with stealing. Can we say that? Oh, I want the food. Can I have the food?
Hey. Hi.
Good morning, young man.
This sounds so awkward.
It's nice to see a new face in this old town.
Oh, no.
Thanks. It's a super cool market you got here.
Oh my
Small towns
gosh.
are the best for Christmas.
No.
Who are you staying with?
Why? Why would you ask that? Why does everybody have to pry about where I live and how I'm going to be there and what's your social security number and your credit card number, mother's maiden name? Why would you ask me these questions? It's very invasive.
We're just passing through, so, at a motel.
Well, I saw you speaking with Charles, so I thought...
Can I leave this conversation?
Oh, we're not related.
Please?
My brother Daniel's friends with Chris.
Gotcha. I like his son.
Oh my gosh,
Funny
stop.
little guy.
I shouldn't have talked to you.
Despite everything.
Despite
Anyway,
everything.
welcome to Beaver Creek.
Stop
If
talking
you
to
need
me.
anything, just holler.
Oh my gosh, I'm breaking so many of my grandparents' rules. I'm just gonna steal the yo-yo. I'm just
Did I
gonna...
lock the shop yesterday?
It's in the RV. Right? Our grandparents were like...
Man, it would have been so cool to have one of these before coming here.
Our grandparents were like, don't talk to people, don't interact with people, everybody's nosy.
I know it sucks, but Daniel deserves it too. Right?
Ugh. Okay, bye.
Found what you were looking for, pretty boy?
Yeah. Something for my little brother.
We'll eat for food. Like, won't we all? Also, I like how they called him City Boy. Like, they're the only person here who, like, called him out on that, besides just being, like, super nosy.
You bought your brother something out here.
Where are you from?
Poor kid.
I don't mean that to sound like everybody else around here. I just meant the drawl. It's like a very southern drawl.
Sorry. I'm just a grumpy old gal. Me and my friends have been crashing here for the week. Nobody gives a shit about us. Yeah, I can tell you're not from around here.
No way, or now we are. This is the closest to a connection that we've had, especially with someone our age. I feel like either of these are fine, quite honestly.
No way. Just here for the holidays.
Ah. You got family.
My grandparents.
Gotta love the grandparents.
What about you and your friends? Road trip?
Not really. We kind of hop from place to place, hunting for little jobs.
Must be a long ride.
That's okay. We hop on trains.
Ah.
Gives us time to rest.
Wicked or dangerous? I mean, it does sound dangerous. These were, like, this is what the email was about, like, the train hopping stuff. Dangerous?
Damn. That sounds kind of dangerous.
Not really. If you can run and jump, you're pretty much good to go. Well, unless you get caught or fall, but we've been lucky so far. That's the best.
It's a lot like what Daniel and Sean were doing before, as far as, like, having a hard time with medical care, though, right? Like, a lot of those very practical things that would be very difficult.
Nobody tells us what to do. No corporation owns us.
And you get to see so many cool places.
Exactly.
Isn't that the dream of every
Next
teenager?
stop is Humboldt County, California.
Stoner break.
Not even close. We actually got work over there.
Sean, what are you doing? We picked the tree with Chris. It's all crooked like an old witch. Oh, hi. Who are you? Ooh, your hair looks so cool.
I think Daniel's a bit out of practice with his social skills. Just, like, immediately going up to a complete stranger and commenting on their appearances. That doesn't feel socially appropriate.
Is it a wig?
Oh my gosh.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know, but it's really cool. I'm Daniel. What's your name?
Hi, Daniel. I'm Cassidy. I dig your superhero outfit.
I'm on a secret mission with my friend. It's very dangerous.
I can tell. I hope you get your mission accomplished. And what's your name?
Oh, Sean. I thought I told you.
Now you did.
Sorry, you went through some shit with the guys. How much you make? You ready? Hello, pups.
Ooh, is that your doggy? So cool.
Yeah, he's been through a lot. Like most of us. So we adopted him. And he stinks. Yeah, you stink and you like it, huh?
Well, he's not the only one.
Have you checked your hair? I think it just twitched. You should keep your distance, dude.
I feel like I'm processing a lot right now. So we have two characters who, like, display qualities that are usually kind of shown as, like, outcast characters, right? Like dreads, face tattoos, like those are the kinds of things that, like, society doesn't look at and says, like, yes, these are, like, desirable things. And I not that these are bad by any means, but I mean that as though if society as a whole looked at these as, like, desirable, they would be on, like, accepted business attire kind of a thing. Like, if workplaces say specifically that you cannot have these things at work, usually they are considered, like, slightly outcasty or rebellious type things, right? And so sometimes what games do then is if they want a character to be seen specifically as like a rebel or an outcast, like they have these types of things, you know, they play into those stereotypes, right? So we have two characters who have like these rebellious type attributes as far as like dreads, purple hair, septum piercing, face tattoos in particular. Like I know a great deal of tattoo artists who just like flat out will not do face tattoos, and who are traveling across the country. So don't have a home in that way. There's a term for it. Can't think of it. Anyways. So, and like different accents too, right? And like use a lot of colloquialisms and terms that are again like associated with certain stereotypes. English. When Sean walked into Daniel using his powers, he was immediately like, that's bad, that's awful, you shouldn't do that. There was an immediate emotional response. With this one, with these characters, the power aspect isn't a thing, right? But with these characters, it almost seems to be like Sean is processing like, is this my thing? Do I like this thing? I don't know. Do I like this thing? There's not an immediate anger response. And again, when it came to the example with Daniel and like talking to Chris, it was almost more like about the powers. And at this point, we've kind of warmed up to the idea that we're already talking to people. But again, it almost seems to be like, do I like this? Is this my thing? Just interesting. It's a certain amount of character development for Sean, it feels like. She looks cool or never too careful. So like, are we leaning into the idea of like bully breeds being like horrible and awful or not? I guess she looks cool.
She looks really cool, I think.
See?
Or the person, sorry.
He knows I'm clean. You're the nasty one.
Yeah.
We're talking about the person, not the dog. My bad. After talking, I forgot what the game was asking me about. So almost this idea too of quite literally, if people have a different lifestyle from us, are they clean or dirty? Oh, I don't like those connotations.
Yeah, you always go for those suburban boys.
So they pick up on it too.
You want to talk about your scoreboard, hotshot?
Scoreboard.
Hey,
Lovely.
no worries.
Come on, let's bail.
It was nice meeting you, Sean and Daniel.
Stay out of trouble, kids.
Goodbye. Hope we see you on the rails someday.
Yeah. See you around.
Your doggy was so cute. I miss Mushroom.
I miss her too.
And potentially these characters aren't against the two new characters whose names I've already forgotten, because like they have traveled themselves, right? They've done something extremely similar. Sean really did seem into them though. You know, like when they left, he kind of like leaned into it. He was like body language wise, he was almost like taking a couple steps after them. And some of that could be just like wanting genuine connection with someone his age, which he hasn't had yet. Daniel has Chris. He doesn't have anybody. But some of it could be like potentially like felt a little more than that. Yeah. And I wonder if that would be there if we talked to Lila. I don't know. Because I've avoided all of the Lila stuff. It could be this idea too, that if we have avoided, or if our grandparents' home environment is like so uncomfortable for us, maybe we'll default to what we know, which is like traveling and being on the road, even if it's not maybe the healthiest for us, like the devil you know.
Excuse me. Dogs have to be on a leash around here. Too many strays.
Sorry, dude.
That's about
we
the people.
We don't do leashes.
Well, the city does. An unleashed dog is liable to a fine, so...
You're gonna fine our dog? Well, that's not very nice.
Loitering is illegal, too. And you don't live here, right? Right?
Calm down, sweetie. We're allowed to visit the Christmas market. Our dog's not gonna eat you. Look at him.
You better watch your mouth. You punks are always causing trouble. This is a nice town, okay?
Jeez. Someone needs to get laid.
He's out of pills.
That's it. I'm calling the cops.
For what?
Oh, God. Daddy's gonna call the cops on us, Finn.
Chill out. We're leaving this shithole anyway. You guys don't even have a Santa, for Christ's sake.
Merry Christmas.
Fucking parasites.
Wow.
Why did they fight?
So because these people are like present a certain way physically, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, why would they act that way, right? Well, so we have had that conversation with them to know that, like, they train hop. This person didn't. So this person doesn't even know that. He could like that they were sitting there, like, playing for money. Like, he could not like that. And that could, like, maybe give him a clue that, like, they're traveling the country, whatever term we use. I mean, like, experiencing homelessness, it keeps coming to mind, but I don't think that's quite accurate. There's a different word I'm looking for, and I can't think of it. So he could sit there and have observed them before and think to themselves, like, I don't like that. I don't like them. I don't like their lifestyle, whatever. But I think probably an even earlier indication that he just, like, immediately decided he doesn't like them is all those physical things that I was talking about before. This idea of, like, immediately judging someone based on their physical attributes and then deciding because you have these attributes, you must fit these stereotypes that go with these attributes, therefore I don't like you. So almost this idea of, like, you have dreads, therefore you must be dirty, which is, like, not true, of course. I'm just talking about, like, these stereotypes. You have dreads, therefore you must be homeless, or like experiencing homelessness. You have face tattoos, therefore you must be, like, I don't know, criminal. And so, like, judging someone immediately based on their physical attributes. And, like, when he was saying, like, I'll call the cops, for what? For loitering? I don't think the cop's going to arrest someone for loitering. Hopefully not going to arrest someone for loitering. Like, that's probably not worth the paperwork. So realistically, if the cop showed up, it makes more sense for the cop to say, hey, can you just, like, leave? It's an empty threat at that point to say, call the cops. Again, hopefully. We've seen how that can go horribly wrong. But this is, like, so much of judging people based on their appearance and, like, because their lifestyle is different from you. They didn't actually do anything wrong. They weren't rude. In fact, the person who told them to leave was far more rude than these other people were. And if they were rude, like the Pills comment, it was in response to something else.
I don't get why he yelled like that. We should kick his ass, Sean.
Daniel. No. Drop it or prank him. No, the prank him one has to do with the powers. We're just gonna drop it. We've seen this time and time again with this game. If we have someone who has a very firm belief system set in, challenging them on that won't just change someone's belief systems. Just drop it. Like, and let's say we prank them. Will they know why the prank happened? No. So if they don't know why the prank happened, how would that make them change their actions, right? It's like if I tell a kid, so let's say, like, I am parenting a kid and I tell them, go to your room. If I don't have a conversation with them about why that's happening or, like, how that's a consequence of their own actions, that's not going to change anything about that kid's behavior.
Better not get involved, man. This guy doesn't look nice.
You're right. They're pretty.
I do think that this is a good place to stop. I feel like at this point I'm wondering, like, what direction is this game going to go in? I was convinced at the very beginning that we were going to explore the mom's room some more and have something happen with that wardrobe. And then later on I'm like, oh, well, now something's definitely going to happen with, like, the dad and Chris. And now I'm sitting here going, well, is none of that going to happen and we're going to start hopping trains with these other people? I have no idea. No idea. Is it going to be D, all of the above? I have no clue. I could see all of these happening, or maybe none of them. I still really do think that Daniel is getting very defensive about his powers, and I still get the feeling that he doesn't quite get it. It's like why it's so important that he not use his powers. And I still feel like he's kind of like, well, I'll just be sneakier about it. I also wonder too, I just realized if we had bought something instead of stealing the yo-yo, if we would have had that whole interaction. None of the other things were child appropriate, but whatever. Anyways, I will stop here, and I'll see you in the next video.